Salute to the family. Salute to the team. We are in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to the family. We are here, ladies and gentlemen. Surprise, surprise. Yeah, we got a early live stream on this morning. Shout out to the family. Thank you guys for joining me on this morning. I appreciate you guys. Salute to the family. Salute to the team. We are here. We are here, family. Yes, indeed. While you guys are coming in the room, make sure you guys smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell, family, so you can be notified whenever we go live, ladies and gentlemen. Right? I want to acknowledge some of the family that's in the building. Buttercup, shout out to you. Mason, God Truth, Crystal, Legendary Devil in the building. Crystal said, I started college today. I'm supposed to be online looking over my stuff, but my show is on. They're going to have to wait. We got work to do, ladies and gentlemen. We got work to do. Shout out to you, Crystal. Make sure you get that work done, love. Make sure you get that work done, right? Black excellence over here always. So salute to the family. Shout out to LaToya coming in, checking in from Milwaukee. Salute to my Milwaukee family in the building, ladies and gentlemen. So what I want to discuss on this evening, family, is this Lindsay Casey. I think that's her name, Lindsay Casey. And if you guys not familiar with this case, Lindsay Clancy, I think that's her name, that's how you pronounce it, is a Massachusetts mother currently on trial for the January 2023 strangulation death of her 3 young children, while she admits to the unaliving, right? I want you guys to keep that in mind. While she admitted to the unaliving of her 3 children, her defense maintains she was suffering from postpartum psychosis. That's not an excuse to unalive your children. I don't care what you going through or what's going on in your head. That does not give you the green light to unalive your children, ma'am. You are a unaliver, right? And you deserve the death penalty. But you guys let me know, do you believe that this lady is innocent or guilty? Because it's a lot of conversations and debates going on online right now regarding this case, this woman, Lindsay, that unalived her 3 children. She admitted to it, but somehow the internet want to, shift the accountability off of her and point it towards her ex-husband, ladies and gentlemen. So I just wanted to make sure you guys understand what's the, parameters around this case if you guys never heard about this case, right? Lindsay Clancy, she unalived all 3 of her children back in 2023. She admitted to it. And, she's claiming like she's psychotic, something wrong with her. So that's her case. But before we get started discussing that trial, we're going to go over the details. We're going to go over the public outcry, her supporters, some of the witnesses, and we're going to go over her ex-husband that a lot of people think that he might have some, involvement in this case. So, but first, family, I got some good news, ladies and gentlemen. I got some good news. I have some amazing news for the family. Before we get started on the case, I want to present this to the family.
Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson has died in prison. He was convicted of murdering Sonia Massey in her Springfield home in 2024. Grayson, who was serving a 20-year sentence, was fighting stage 4 colon cancer and had asked to be released for medical reasons. The Prison Review Board just denied that request at the end of July. Grayson shot and killed Massey after she called police about a possible prowler. And he claimed he thought Massey was going to throw a pot of boiling water on him. Massey's family releasing a statement saying, in part, Sonia Massey's death was unjustifiable and she should be alive today. Sean Grayson's death in custody from cancer does not bring Sonia back. We wish his family prayers of peace, as we do for all who grieve a loved one. We have extensive coverage of this case on our news app.
So shout out to Sean Grayson for burning in hell, ladies and gentlemen. Right? For unaliving our dear sister Sonya Massey. She finally got justice, right? Justice was not her, Sean receiving 20 years. Justice was him not being here with us anymore, right? The same thing that he gave our sister Sonya Massey, a death sentence, is the same thing that our ancestors gave to him. So shout out to Sean Grayson for burning in hell. You deserve every bit of that. And I hope that your last moments, your last hours, that you was in pain, that you was suffering, and that cancer was, traveling through your body, right? Strangling you with nothing but pain. Because that's what you did to our sister Sonya Massey. That's what you did, right? So I just wanted to make sure that the family was aware of what happened to this guy. We reported on this a few weeks ago. I guess the ancestors sped up the process because once it came out that he was diagnosed with colon cancer, I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna last. Because he tried to get out of jail. He tried to make a case for, I got cancer, so I need to get out of jail. And I told you, family, he's not going to receive the best treatment in prison when it comes to his diagnosis. So the ancestors said, you know what? Let me go ahead and get you up out of here, sir. I'm going to go ahead and get you up out of here and send you next to Charlie Kirk, burning in hell, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely. Burning in hell where he deserved to be. Okay? Where he deserved to be. So shout out to the family. Shout out to the team. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell, family. So let's report on this Lindsay case, right? We're going to go over here to CBS, which is an anti-black platform. Let's see what they got to say.
We are following breaking news from Plymouth, Massachusetts, where closing arguments are next to come in the murder trial of Lindsay Clancy. Today, the defense rested after hearing from a forensic psychiatrist. Testimony is set to resume this hour with the prosecution speaking to rebuttal witnesses. Clancy, you may remember, has pleaded not guilty to first-degree murder, but admits to killing her children.
She admits to it, right? She admits to it. And there's a lot of people online saying that this woman did not do it. There's no way that she can do it. And we should point all of the blame on the father.
Prosecutors say Lindsay Clancy strangled her children, 5-year-old Cora, 3-year-old Dawson, and 8-month-old Callan.
8 months, 3 years old, 5 years old. All of these children are under the age of 5, right? 8 years old, 8 months, 3 and 5 years old, right? 5 years old. Keep that in mind.
January 24th, 2023, after sending her then husband Patrick out for some errands. She then jumped out of the home's second-story window, leaving her paralyzed from the waist down. The prosecution rested its case Monday morning, and the defense then called several witnesses this week, including Clancy's mother, sister, and ex-mother-in-law. The defense argues Clancy was suffering from postpartum psychosis at the time, so should not be held criminally responsible for the death.
What?
It's actually not frequent to have a postpartum psychosis 8 months after a birth, but it does occasionally occur. And so what I can say is whether it is the classic postpartum psychosis or not, with the postpartum onset and frank psychosis on the day of the killing, I would label that a postpartum psychosis in the sense that it was a postpartum onset and she was clearly psychotic on that day.
No, she would.
Well, the
no,
prosecution is now questioning its...
She was not psychotic. This is their behavior. This is their nature. That woman knew exactly what she was doing. She was not psychotic. I don't care nothing about postpartum and none of that. I understand that it's levels of depressions, but that's not a get out of jail free card for unaliving your 8-month-old, your 3-year-old, or your 5-year-old children. Okay? Yeah, she's psychotic for doing the act. We know that for sure. We know she's sick in the head, but this is their nature.
First rebuttal witness, another forensic psychiatrist. He concluded that Clancy probably suffered from a major depressive episode and anxiety, but he said there was no evidence that she was ever bipolar in a manic state like the defense has argued.
I can appreciate that she felt side effects and a degree of change from the medications that she took. So I don't know that that feeling or that belief is necessarily psychotic.
Right.
CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson joins us now. Jessica, always so good to talk to you about these types of cases because you can really understand.
And I want you guys to keep in mind, this woman admitted to it, right? She admitted to it. Now she's trying to play crazy, right? She want to play crazy, but she had all her faculties when she decided to unalive her babies and throw herself out of the window. I want you guys to keep in mind, the reason why she threw herself out of the window and she's paralyzed, so that when she go to trial, she can act like that she's psychotic. Yeah, we know that you're psychotic. That's your lineage. That is your history. This is your nature. This has nothing to do with postpartum. This has nothing to do with depression. This has everything to do with the behavior of these people. You is not finna run this postpartum game on me. All of us been depressed at one point in time in our life. Nothing resorted me to unaliving children at all. And it's very shameful that we have all of these women, all of these mothers out here supporting this devil. That's what she is. She's not a victim. She's a cold-blooded unaliver. Simple as that.
And help us understand the defense's argument as well as the prosecution's argument. So help us understand the pros and cons of deciding not to have Clancy testify in her defense.
Well,
why you believe Beverly? That's okay. We can agree to disagree on this topic. Why do you think the husband did it? If this woman admitted to it, right, Beverly? I respect your opinion, and I see a lot of women on the line that's saying this, right? This woman admitted to it. She's not on trial to argue against whether she did it or not. That's not what the trial consists of. The trial consists of, was she in her right mind or was she mentally ill? She already admitted to it, right? The prosecution got evidence that she did it. The defense admitted to it. But why is it that so many people out here saying that they believe the husband did it when there's no evidence that proves that he done it? Why are y'all doing this? If somebody admitted to it and all of the evidence and the information that's coming out point towards her, and the father wasn't there, the husband wasn't there, why are y'all still saying that y'all believe that the husband did it? This is I don't understand it. Help me understand that, Beverly. I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
We know that it's always extremely risky to have a defendant take the stand because they are subject to cross-examination. And frankly, oftentimes you see a defendant take the stand only when it's basically a Hail Mary situation where they think that that is the only way that they might be able to win the case. Oftentimes the safer bet, and that's why we generally don't see defendants take the stand in this type of case, or we often don't, this safer bet is not to have somebody testify, and the jury is generally instructed not to hold that against the defendant in this case. Again, I think the defense...
So they're not going to hold her, against her for not taking the stand, but y'all had every problem with Carmelo Anthony not taking the stand. But ain't nobody got no problem with her not taking a stand and explaining why did she slaughter all of her children. And y'all don't see a problem with that? Y'all don't see a problem with her defending herself on the stand and explaining to us what's going on in her mind, because she's trying to play crazy. She's trying to play crazy. But she was in her right mind when she decided to go to the 8-month-old, the 3-year-old, the 5-year-old. And not only that, family, she threw herself out of the window. That's why she's in a wheelchair and she's paralyzed for the rest of her life. Right? She had to find some type of way to get herself out of this situation from what she just did to her children. So she said, you know what? I feel like my best chance at winning this case is for me to throw myself out of the window. And now she's paralyzed. But she don't even want to take the stand. But everybody had a problem with Carmelo Anthony not taking the stand. He should have got up there and defended himself. But they making excuses for her. They said it's in her best interest not to take the stand. Why not? Explain to us, Lindsay. Why did you unalive and strangle your children one by one? Because you had depression or psychosis. All of this BS that you're trying to come up with. But nothing told you in your mind. And this is what I find fascinating with a lot of these people that do this to their children, right? They say that voices are telling them to do this to their kids, but voices don't tell you to go to the gym and work out, do something productive. Nothing productive. It's always, let me unalive my children. That's the best possible way for me to cure my postpartum. And there's a lot of mothers out here making excuses for this woman by trying to point the finger at the father. The father wasn't there. And it's very disgusting of y'all to try to defend this devil when this woman admitted to it. She admitted to it. She's not fighting for her innocence, family. This is about, is she crazy or not? Or was she in her right state of mind when she was doing this to her children? But nothing in her mind told her, I need to get away from my children. I need to go do something productive. If I'm depressed, I need to find out what I need to do. Let me leave my children alone. This is crazy. Shout out to AQ coming in with the $2 super chat. Look up. I'm going to go over that too. Sanders, real quick. Latasha Sanders. I'm going to go over that, AQ, in just a second. I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to go over her in just a second.
Made the decision that in this situation, subjecting her to cross-examination, even though she might be able to make the case better than anybody else, that the risks are simply too high. And that's why...
Shout out to Legendary coming in with the $5 super chat. She tried 4 different methods to unalive herself once and failed. God, Satan, and death didn't want her. Wow. That's crazy. So I guess you was like, let me just throw myself out the window and just, see what happened here, because I don't want to be held accountable for my actions. So let me just try to unalive myself. God said, oh, absolutely not. Nope. You're going to sit here and you're going to face these consequences and deal with the repercussions of what you did to those babies.
Instead, they put these mental health professionals and psychiatrists on the stand to say that she was, in fact, not able to form the intent necessary, that under the Massachusetts law, that she could not be found guilty of murder.
I want to follow up on that, because what we heard from the defense, that expert, was that it was psychotic on that day. Is that part of the reason that they don't want her to testify? Because her mental state on that day is very different potentially from her mental state in this moment.
Well, I think that's right. When it comes to the legal standard, what we're looking for is that at the moment of the killings, at the moment of the crimes, that she either was not able to appreciate that the conduct was unlawful, or that she was not able to conduct herself within the law. That's a very high burden. So we should be clear that I think there's no question in this case that she was suffering. She was suffering. We have heard from serious mental...
I don't care if she was suffering. This is so crazy, family. This is the way that they are treating this woman is crazy. These people done raised over $1 million for this woman. These people are protesting for this woman. These people got so much empathy and sympathy for this devil, this cold-blooded devil. It's diabolical, but y'all would not have this same sentiment if this woman was black. I guarantee you. So all the black women that's out here trying to defend this woman, I dare you to try it. I dare you to try it. Right? I dare you to listen to those voices in your head that's telling you to harm your kids and think that somebody gonna be out here protesting in the streets thinking that those white women going to come out and protest on your behalf, thinking that people is going to raise $1 million for you to fight your case. I want you to try it. We dealing with two different systems here. See, they trying to find every excuse to, dismiss this woman's behavior. This woman wasn't psychotic. She was in her right state of mind when she decided to go to one child, to the next, to the next. And I want you to understand this, family. When she unalived that 8-month-old, and I don't know what order that she went into, right? The first child that she unalived, she didn't think that, hey, I'm doing the wrong. Let me stop. This is wrong what I just did. But you know what she did, family? She went to the next child. Strangled that child. No problem. She stayed in her mind. And then she went to the third child and did the exact same thing. And you mean to tell me she wasn't in her right mind? So she was just crazy. But after she done all of that, family, she threw herself out of the window and paralyzed herself from the waist down for the rest of her life. You mean to tell me not just she didn't stop at one child, family. She went to the 8-month-old, the 3-year-old, the 5-year-old. And these people decided to raise $1 million to support this woman. You got the mainstream media trying to soften up the blow. The experts already came out and said the woman ain't crazy. She ain't crazy. She's a devil. This is their lineage. This is their history. This is what their people do all of the time. Like somebody said in the chat, the usual suspects.
Mental illnesses. She tried to get help over and over again. The question isn't whether she was depressed or even whether she was bipolar. To your excellent question, this is about her state at the time.
It's about her state at the time. She was looking for help. So nothing in her mind told her, let me get away from my family. You know that is an option, right? You know it's an option that you can just get your kids and take them to the neighbor house and run. You know that you could have just left. I would rather for you to leave those children at home by themselves and neglect them than strangle them to death. At least those children would still have their life. How can y'all support a woman? They should literally lock up all of those women that's outside defending this woman. Seriously.
State of mind at the time, and whether or not she can be found criminally liable, or if she was in a episode of psychosis, and if she could not conform her behavior within the law and did not understand that her behavior transgressed the law.
Jessica, it wasn't that long ago that people didn't even understand what postpartum depression was. And this is postpartum psychosis. Still, it's something that is horrific with 3 little lives gone. What do you expect from the prosecution's rebuttal?
So I think the prosecution will say, we understand that she was suffering. Many people suffer and they don't kill their children.
Right.
I think what we're also going to hear from the prosecution is that she did, in fact, understand what she was doing was wrong. That's why she sent her husband away for that period of time.
You heard that? You heard that, family? She sent her husband away for a period of time so that she can do what she did to those babies. She sent her husband to the store. For all the people that's trying to point the blame at the husband, she sent her husband away so that she can do what she did to those babies. Okay? I know y'all don't like this accountability. Y'all think all mothers are just good mothers and they deserve the praises. No, it's a lot of demonic, psychotic mothers out here that deserve to be in prison or get the death penalty. This woman planned this out. She planned this out. She sent her husband away so that she can strangle these babies. But somehow y'all still want to try to point the blame at everybody else.
for the prosecution, they're going to have to accept, again, that there was serious mental illness when it comes to Clancy and what she was suffering from during this period.
You see that, family? You see how she trying to, it was seriously mental illness. Yes, she's sick. It's something wrong. This is what's wrong with y'all people. Y'all been doing this. This is y'all history. Before it was all this postpartum and depression and mental illness, y'all been doing sick things like this. Y'all been indulging in incest and unaliving babies and wearing baby skins or as clothes. Y'all been doing this. This has nothing to do with mental illness. This has everything to do with pattern recognition. This was embedded in this woman. This is what y'all do. This is y'all history.
But they're going to say she still was able to understand right from wrong. And they're going to focus on that planning, getting the husband out of the house. And again, they have their competing experts to say, of course, she was suffering from mental illness, but it didn't cross over. Listen to all these mental health professionals who are saying it did not cross over to psychosis. And you're exactly right, of course, to zero in on that issue.
And the burden of proof in our legal system is always, at least nominally, supposed to be with the prosecution. But we know that that doesn't always necessarily factor into how people hear arguments when it comes to a person's mental health or a crime that involves.
Family, I want you guys to also understand this, family. She strangled 3 babies. She unalived 3 babies. 3 of them. She didn't stop at 1. She went to one after another. That's what she did. And then she want to play crazy? No, you weren't crazy. You planned this out. You sent your husband away so that you can do what you did to those babies. And then when you realize, like, damn, I effed up, let me throw myself out of a window, hoping that it ends in me not being here anymore, but she's still here and she has to face the consequences for her actions. They always want to find some type of way out of their behavior. Excuses. No accountability. It's postpartum. She was depressed. She wasn't in her right state of mind. You telling me that she wasn't in her right state of mind when she went to one child after another? One child after another. 3 of them. She wasn't in her right mind when she sent the husband off to go get food. She wasn't in her right mind. Okay, keep playing with us. Keep playing with us.
It was the taking of 3 young children. So how will the burden of proof go into all of this? And do you think that the prosecution has cleared that hurdle?
So I think we're going to have to see in, the coming hours when it comes to closing arguments, we're going to have to reassess. I think the defense has done a good job of putting on experts to say that, in fact, Clancy was suffering from a type of psychosis. What we heard today was that
this the same thing.
She was commanded to kill her children.
She thought she was commanded to unalive her children. This the same thing that they use for these pedophiles, these school shooters, these voices in their head telling them to do this. No, it's just pattern recognition. This is what YT people do. She talking about she was commanded to do this. Ma'am, stop playing. Stop playing. Stop playing. I understand there's some psychotic people out here that's in these mental institutions that, hear voices in their head. That's not her. That's not her. Because she went to, I understand, if it was just one child, I still won't believe her. But at the same time, 3 children, family, 3 kids that lost their life by the hands of this woman. And this woman talking about she was commanded to do this. Command. I wonder if a black mother can use this. No, you can't. You can't use this, black women. So all these black women that's defending her, and I see y'all out here, all I say is, I want you to listen to that voice in your head that's commanding you to do it and see how this play out to you. You won't have CBS in the mainstream media saying that you was mentally ill and they have sympathy for you and you raising $1 million. Absolutely not. And I'm gonna prove to you in this live stream.
Also heard testimony that she said after the killings, she said, my children are safe now. And so the defense is trying to make the argument that she thought she was actually doing something to keep her children safe. And that's how disturbed her thinking truly was. In terms of the jury, I mean, you're exactly right again.
So she unalived her kids, and she thought that was keeping her kids safe. Unaliving them.
Now, this is not just a tragic case, it is deeply emotional. Everybody is going to have a very strong reaction to this case. When it comes to the legal standard, as you pointed out, it's the prosecution's burden to show beyond a reasonable doubt that she understood what she was doing, that she can be found criminally liable because she was, in fact, able to comport herself within the law. She did, in fact, understand that what she was doing was wrong. That's a high threshold, as it is in all criminal cases.
For some people, this one is going to seem like such a clear one. For others, this is going to be a very hard one. You mentioned hours. When do you expect closing arguments? And then how long do you think will...
So, family, before we get into the witnesses that took the stand and tried to defend her, all these women out here, I just want to make sure that we highlight. I want you guys to see what we dealing with when it comes to this case, family. I want you guys to see the behavior of these people, right? And these are the same people that like to cry about crime and the unaliving and black on black crime in Chicago and, you know, abortions. Just look at this, family. Look at this. Look at these people.
Show of support today for Lindsay Clancy. Hundreds of women, all dressed in pink, cheered the accused mom as she arrives in a police caravan for her murder trial.
Look at them. Look at them.
Supporters ran across the field to greet Lindsay. Some came with their babies.
Oh,
they
my
held
God.
up heart hands during a silent rally for the mom who strangled her 3 young children, then jumped from the second floor window, leaving her paralyzed for life.
It's a buzz around here, guys.
Fox News legal analyst Chanley Painter, a former prosecutor, actually wore pink in her live report as she spoke to Lindsay's defense attorney, who was greeted with cheers.
Hey, guys. What do you think of the support for Lindsay Clancy out here?
I have no words.
No words?
It's amazing.
The rally
Amazing.
for Lindsay Clancy is
So the rally for a person who unalived her children, they out there screaming and cheering this woman on. And these people brought their babies to this. They should lock everybody up and take everybody's keys away from them. These are psychotic, devilish people. What are y'all cheering? And I want you guys to keep in mind this too, family. There's no rally for the babies. There's no support for the babies. These people ain't out here for the lost lives of those children, the children that lost their lives. There's no rally for them. All of those women out there, all of those white women are out there to support Lindsay, the one who unalived their children. But no rally for the babies.
not just in Plymouth, Massachusetts, where the trial is being held. There are gatherings across the USA today, including here in New York, in Union. An astounding.
Just diabolical. No rally for the actual babies that lost their lives. But let's go support the person that unalived her children.
Does anyone have a message for Lindsay?
We support you, Lindsay. We are all here for you, and we hope for a change.
You heard what she said, right? I wanted to pause it right there because this shows you the mindset of these people. She didn't say, I'm deeply hurt about what happened to those children, but we do need to, bring awareness to the mentally, the mental health issues in this country. They not saying it. The first thing that these people is saying in these interviews, and I want you to pay attention to what they're saying, family, in their state of mind. Nobody have sympathy for the babies. No rally for the babies. but we have sympathy and support for the woman that unalived her children. That monster is still alive. Those babies are not here anymore. Those babies didn't have a shot at life anymore. And you think Lindsay finna get out here and play crazy? No, she's not crazy. She's not crazy. She know exactly what she did. That's why she threw herself out of the window, family. Because she tried to end it all. She tried to go out with a bang. And if you look at these white women out here that's supporting her, this is sick. This is why I say, family, this is pattern recognition. These people are not mentally ill. She's not psychotic. She was in her right state of mind, because those people out there are in their right state of mind and they support her actions. They support her actions. This goes to show you that these people are not crazy. They know exactly what they're doing, because what are y'all supporting? What, you know what? Better yet, a lot of women check themselves into mental illness facilities, right? Psychotic facilities. A lot of women. There's a lot of women in these mental institutions. Shout out to those women, because they trying to get some help. It's filled with women. You know who I don't see outside of those institutions? Those white women out there. These women talking about they care about mental health and all this. Why y'all not outside of those mental institutions helping those women that's actually suffering? Why y'all not raising millions of dollars for those women that turned themselves in because they saw the signs? But y'all showing up after the fact? Y'all want to show up after the fact. But it's women right now and mothers right now that's suffering. Where y'all at, Karens? Where y'all at? I'm just saying, it's women right now that's suffering from postpartum depression. They dealing with a lot of mental health issues in these mental institutions. Why y'all ain't outside rallying up behind them now? Because y'all don't care nothing about mental health issues. See, y'all is for the support of the unaliving of those babies. That's what it is. That's the only reason why y'all out here, because y'all indulge in that type of behavior.
What would be your message to the people that say she murdered her children?
I think there's more to this story that people don't understand. If you watch the trial, you'll see that.
She said it's more to the story. She's not going to condone that woman behavior. She's not going to condone it. Right? Because I told you guys all the time over here that these YT people, the accountability is their kryptonite, family. They hate accountability. They run away from accountability. This woman said, instead of saying, yeah, what she did was wrong, and I condemn her behavior and rest in peace to those innocent young babies that lost their life, this woman said that it's more to the story. Y'all need to watch the trial. After Lindsay admitted that she done it. But you still got people out here saying that it's the father that done it. He had something to do with it. He's not on trial. This is not a guilty or innocence trial. She already admitted to it. But this white woman said right here, out of her own mouth, is more to the story. What more can you...
And I think we all need to educate ourselves in postpartum.
We need to educate ourselves on postpartum. And a lot of these women think postpartum is a get out of jail free card for them doing some psychotic and devilish things to their children. Ma'am, postpartum is not a get out of jail free card, ma'am. It's not. If you are dealing with a level of depression, you go seek help. If you can't find help, then get away from your children. Get away from your family. I would rather for you to leave those babies on somebody's doorstep, or just neglect the babies so they still can have a fighting chance at life. But you guys gonna sit up here and unalive your kids and then want to tell us we need to educate ourselves on postpartum. No, man, we don't need to educate ourselves on anything. Y'all need to educate yourself on accountability. That's what you need to educate yourself on. Disgusting.
Certainly have been educating myself, and my heart goes to her, and I just hope for the very best for her.
She said, my heart goes out to her. Family, she said out of her mouth, my heart goes out to her, not the babies. My heart goes out to her, not the children. And you see what we dealing with, family? These are the same people that walks around and act like they so scared of black people and violence and, oh my God, black people just unaliving. This woman admitted to unaliving her children. And through this whole entire dialogue, this white woman made up excuse after excuse after excuse. No accountability for this woman's actions, telling us that we need to get educated. Saying that her heart goes out to the unaliver, not the babies. These people don't care about these children. These people want to find a way to wiggle their way out of accountability. This has nothing to do with mental health, family. This has everything to do with the nature of the demographic of people that we are looking at on the screen. Disgusting. No rest in peace to the family or to the children or nothing. No rest in peace.
To the people that are upset and believe that she killed her 3 children and she should be convicted, what would be your message to them?
I'm so grateful for you that you never experienced even remotely what women experience in postpartum.
So here we go again. This woman said, I pray that you never experience what women go through with postpartum. Here we go. Excuses. I don't know why y'all keep saying that we don't understand postpartum and we need to be educated. Ma'am, that does not mean that you can unalive your children just because you suffering. So you mean to tell me when y'all go through this postpartum epidemic or, whatever, nothing in your mind say, you know what, I'm feeling depressed. I'm going through a hard time in my life right now. Let me do something productive. Let me go to Pilates. Let me go to the gym. Let me do something to make myself feel good. But the only thing that I can possibly do to get rid of this depression mind state is to unalive my babies. Make that make sense to me, family. Because every person that I hear talk about this makes the excuse to unalive their child. They make it seem like there's no other options that you can resort to. Only unaliving. Just killing. Nothing productive.
Yeah, and admittedly, she did admit to killing them.
Yes, she did.
The woman you see now is completely different from the woman who did that to her.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass
bro,
on,
this woman said, this woman said she admitted to it, but the woman that you see now is not the woman that done that act.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
And are y'all waiting? And this is why I be so, I go so hard at the white supremacists and the low IQ community. And this is why I don't take anything that they say serious about black people, right? Because when it comes to their own, they always got to make an excuse for it, right? But when black people do something, it's black people. In general, all black people. We can't use the postpartum depression excuse, none of that. We can't use the liberal. We can't use that, he was a troubled child, none of that. But when they community do it, they was mentally ill. They wasn't in their right state of mind. They had an episode. They was liberal. They was left. They come up with all the excuses, family. All the excuses. But this is the third woman that we have seen that made excuses for Lindsay, but nobody is here advocating for the babies. I want you guys to really watch this now. Watch and look at these people. Nobody have sympathies for the... Do y'all not understand 2 lives are gone? A 8-month-old baby, a 3-year-old baby, a 5-year-old baby is gone. But nobody is saying rest in peace. My heart goes out to those little babies that lost their life. That was terrible. I condemn her behavior, but I understand mental health. They're not saying it. They're not out there for the babies. They're out there for the unaliver. Disgusting.
Kids, and I think it's really difficult for people to hold to truths that may seem opposite simultaneously. She can be a wonderful, loving mother, and she did this horrible thing that...
How can she be a lovable, amazing mother if she unalive all 3 of her kids? Ma'am, are you stupid? Are you dumb? This woman said she can be an amazing, lovable mother, but at the same time, she can still do this act and what she did with unaliving her children. Do y'all hear these people, family? Do y'all hear these people? Do y'all hear these white mothers? And these white women, these are the same white women that always got something to say about black women and their children. But these are the same white women that make excuses for their sons when they go out here and shoot up schools. They got all the excuses. When their sons, their white males, get out here and do you know what to these babies, and they make excuses. They coddle them. They try to hide it from the public. But you can't hide y'all history.
That she was so sick. I mean, I've seen the testimony every day. I can see how devastated she is, and I believe her. I believe her.
She said, I believe her. I believe her because she's sick. She's sick. She's sick. And I like this comment right here, right? Somebody left a comment on this video. This is a absolutely slap in the face to all the wonderful, loving mothers who suffered from postpartum depression, but had the strength and the determination to push through it and not unalive their children. No rest in peace, family. This is the 3rd woman that said that she believed Lindsay. Right? She condones her behavior and what she did to those babies. She said that she's sick. And do you think that this white woman would have this same sentiment if this lady was black? Can black mothers that do this to their children, can they run with this excuse right here? Are y'all going to support black women that do this to their children? Absolutely not. And I don't expect you to. But I know damn well that y'all not going to get out here and say that their black mother was sick and you are going to stand with her unaliving all 3 of her children.
People that are upset and believe that she killed her 3 children and she should be convicted, what would be your message to them?
I'm so grateful for you that you never experienced.
This is, bro, these people is...
Hey y'all, I wanted to show you guys just proof of the 2 Americas. Lindsay Clancy is currently on trial for strangling her 3 kids. And you can already see, they're going to say she was having like postpartum depression, psychosis, all of that stuff. You also have Deja Coleman out of Georgia. This happened, I think, a few weeks ago, where she also works at a hospital and was, I think, a nurse's assistant or something like that, juggling 3 kids, had a lot going on, left her baby, one of her kids, in the hot car. Her lawyer says she's devastated. Her lawyer is trying to get some of the charges dropped so that she can attend her son's funeral. But this is what I want to really show y'all. Look at what people are saying about.
And I want you, and this post right here is for the black women that support her, right? Because I see some black women out here that's supporting this white woman, right? I am going to play you a few of those individuals. As you guys just seen, that lady is in prison right now for leaving her child in a hot car, right? Rightfully, she deserved to be in prison, by the way. I'm not defending her, right? Because ain't no way you accidentally leave your kids in the car. You put your kids in the car, you know that you need to get your kids out of the car, right? But I want you to watch and see what these white women are saying in the comment section
about her. This woman loved her kids. Talking about Lindsay Clancy. This woman loved her kids. Women's mental health is so overlooked. She begged for help and never got it.
This is what they saying about Lindsay. This is what the white women are saying about Lindsay.
Someone else. I could never see her as an evil person. She was sick. She was a good mom. Now let me show you the comments on Deja Coleman's case. Okay, Deja Coleman's case. Absolutely not. You shouldn't have caused his death to begin with.
Wow.
No, she killed her own child. I've had 4 children. Never once did I forget them in a hot car.
You see the difference? Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference, family? See, they had all the praise for the white woman, all the praises, saying that she was an amazing woman, and they understand that she's suffering from a mental illness, right? She's psychotic. She wasn't in her state of mind. All the white women was in the comment section, cheering her on. But Deja, that left her son in a hot car, look at the white women in the comment section. This is for the black women that's defending her. I'm showing you, I want you to try it, right? I don't want you to harm your children. But for the women, the black women that's saying that they have those thoughts, I see all y'all videos on TikTok. Y'all are sick individuals, by the way. The black women that's out here saying that they stand with Lindsay and they are Lindsay, I want you to listen to that voice that's telling you to harm your kids, thinking that you are going to have this massive support from white women. This is what they think about you. They in the comment section saying this. Absolutely not. You shouldn't have caused his death to begin with. Nope. She unalived her own children. These are white women. If I had 4 children, never once did I forget them in a hot car. Throw the book at her. Exactly, Jay. Jay said no excuses. Let that woman have been black. They would have put her under the jail. Exactly. This is for the black people that's defending her, because she got some black people that's defending her. Lindsay got some black supporters. But I just want to highlight to the black women that's out here defending her. I know it's not a lot of y'all, but the ones that is, I want you to see the difference of how it would look. Daisha don't have a $1 million GoFundMe fundraiser. They raised over $1 million for this woman. And I told you, family, when it comes to white people doing something degenerate, they gonna raise money. They never raise money for anything positive, right? Nothing positive. If it has something to do with somebody being unalive or racism, they gonna donate. This is the same demographic that donated $1 million to Shiloh Hendricks, that called a black 5-year-old child the N-word. They raised $1 million for her.
Throw the book at her. Y'all, this is...
Smash that like button, family. Get the likes up. Smash that like button.
A great example of the 2 Americas. And you know what? There are black parents running around here saying, oh, my children are colorblind. I teach my kids to be colorblind.
Yep.
The problem with that is you're going to send them out into a world that is not colorblind. It is so important to teach your children about the two Americas. That's the only way to make sure they're safe and understand how these folks operate and what they think about us.
Exactly.
And the criminal justice system, you know? So when you see a white woman does something, okay, oh, well, she's in, you know, she had psychosis, and I'm not saying that's not a thing,
right?
But they look at her with compassion while looking at a black woman and with zero compassion.
Zero compassion for the black mother that left her child in a hot car, but they got all the compassion for Lindsay that strangled all three of her kids, family. This lady didn't leave her children in the hot car. She sent her husband away and strangled her 8-month-old, her 3-year-old, her 5-year-old, and then she threw herself out of the window. Yeah, that's what we dealing with here.
Oh, to be white in America is to wake up one day and say, you know what? It's a great day to annihilate all three of my small children. And then to not be demonized by my fellow psychotic whites, but in fact to be so supported that they think it's a grand idea to send me over $1 million on GoFundMe.
An astounding show.
$1 million they raised for this woman. $1 million. They out here cheering this woman on like she's a celebrity, like she done something good, like she's a hero. These white women are out here worshiping this woman. $1 million? $1 million for her legal defense. Nothing for the babies. Nothing for the children that's no longer here for us. Nobody's talking about the children. This is the only reason why I want to cover this case, because I want to shine light on the children. Nobody want to discuss the children. Everybody want to support this woman. What about the babies? Do their lives matter? Do the babies' lives matter to you devils?
Of support today for Lindsay Clancy. Hundreds of women, all dressed in pink, cheered the accused mom as she arrived in a police caravan for her murder trial. Supporters ran across the field to greet Lindsay. Some came with their babies. They held up heart hands during a silent rally for the mom who strangled her 3 young children, then jumped from the second-floor window, leaving her paralyzed for life.
It's a buzz around here, guys.
Fox News legal analyst Chanley Painter, a former prosecutor, actually wore pink in her live report as she spoke to Lindsay's defense attorney, who was greeted with cheers.
See, here's my thing, white people. Weren't y'all just demonizing 29-year-old Deja Coleman here?
Yep.
Who accidentally left her child in a hot car because she was experiencing psychosis from also being a mom of 3 with one of her kids having significant special needs, as well as residing in a woman's shelter after running from an abusive relationship? Oh, y'all didn't give a damn about that. Y'all said burn her at the stake.
Yep.
Give her the death penalty.
Yep.
Get her up out of here. Right? But when it comes to this decrepit, crater-faced white woman who used exercise bands to strangle her 3 young kids under 5, y'all are in support of that? Can you tell me why?
Because they demonic?
Because I could have sworn that y'all said that anybody that was a cold-blooded murderer deserved to be on the death penalty, deserved to receive life in prison.
Right.
Meanwhile, here you are, not only in full support, wearing pink all over the nation in all of these protests screaming free Lindsay because she was going through postpartum and psychosis for this baby murderer on GoFundMe. But y'all have an issue with Carmelo Anthony's family and their GoFundMe? Oh yeah, y'all are some true psychopaths. Just in case y'all want to pull the victim card and play delusional like y'all always seem to do, here are some direct examples from my YouTube channel pertaining to a video I posted about Carmelo Anthony just the other day. Let's read some of these, shall we? He deserves the death penalty. 35 years is a gift. Justice is life in prison with a little prison justice. One step closer to life in prison. Wow. He stabbed a kid. Guilty. Oh, wow. But I could have sworn that Lindsay decided to partake in the most intimate way that you can choose to murder someone. ×3 with all of her babies.
I'm talking about literally strangled the babies. With a band. Strangled all 3 of them. And all Carmelo Anthony did was, did what he did, and he ran off because he was protecting himself from a violent, racist thug. But Carmelo Anthony deserved the death penalty. Y'all got Carmelo Anthony's family GoFundMe taken down. Y'all criticizing Nolan Wells' family for their GoFundMe. But y'all raising $1 million. This is why I don't take them serious, family. This is why I don't care what they got to say. I don't believe none of their rhetoric that they care about crime, that they care about Chicago, black on black crime, none of that. Because when it happens in their community, it's crickets. They support it. They condone it. Just like they doing in the Carmelo Anthony case. They trying to dismiss what Austin did, his criminal background, his violent background. But let's talk about this alleged text messages, which not even real, about Carmelo licking blood off a knife. Yeah, they run with that.
Oh, but it's free her. Oh, look at this one. He killed someone. You got your free pass with OJ, not this time. Guilty, guilty, guilty. Wow. BS, this is wrong. Carmelo stabbed and killed, you damn idiots. Wow. Oh, baby, this is one of my favorites here. Another racist clown's trying to justify somebody murdering somebody else just because of his melanin content. It's going to be a downhill roll in that case because Carmelo's going to prison where he deserves to be. No more free rides. We're cracking down on all murdering losers. I guess unless you're white. Let's not forget to add that on. Because Lindsay is a murdering loser. She killed her 3 babies by strangulation.
And she admitted to it. She admitted to it. Think about how intimate that was, family. I want you to understand this. How intimate it is for you to grab your 3-month-old. Not with your hands. She didn't use her hands. She used a band. I want you to follow me here. Think about how intimate this is, family. For you to see your 8-month-old baby, right? Innocent, loving, smiling, probably crying. You grab a band and strangle this 8-month-old baby until it's no longer breathing again. And you put that baby down and you grab the 3-year-old, innocent 3-year-old, probably happy to see mom, smiling, probably asking you questions. Can they have a snack? You grab that 3-year-old, get a band, and strangle that 3-year-old to death while looking at your child in your face. Take that 3-year-old, put it to the side. Grab that 5-year-old baby. Get a band, looking at your baby in your face. But you saying that somebody in your mind is telling you to do this. You are being commanded to go to baby after baby after baby. Nothing stopped you. You grabbed that band and strangled that 5-year-old to death. And then put that body down. And you looking at all 3 of your babies laying down unalived. And you was too coward to take your own life. Too much of a coward, but you would take these innocent babies' lives. You would take their life. And you too coward to take yours. So you gonna jump out of a 2-story window and paralyze yourself for the rest of your life, hoping that was going to get the job done. But God said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. What you did, you have to get held accountable for. She wished, she was hoping that she did not make it after that fall, family. She was hoping that she didn't make it after that fall. She threw herself out of the window because she was too coward to take her own life. But she had all the power to strangle all 3 of those innocent babies, one by one. But she didn't know what she was doing. But she was in her right mind to grab a band and strangle an 8-month-old baby and thought that was okay. And then go to the next child and then go to the next. Only a devil can do something like this, family. Only a devil.
And didn't give a damn. She sent her husband out to run errands and then premeditated killing these babies. She counted the amount of time that it would take for her husband to get back from those errands so that she could have enough time to strangle 3 kids under the age of 5. But I don't see these same comments pertaining to her. Oh, because she's a decrepit, cradle-faced ass white woman. Last but not least, this is another of my favorite ones at the bottom here by Gina. Proud of your people. He murdered a teenager. He brought a knife to school, threatened and stalked his ex. Said he wanted to stab someone and lick the blood off the blade. Texted her that day and said, low-key, I'm on the verge. All that come out with the second trial and this piece of shit will get life. Wow. Wow, all this fake selective ass outrage. So Sin Deja, who didn't even really fucking murder her baby, but was actually experiencing psychosis from everything that she was going through in her personal life, and accidentally left her baby in a hot car, take her and burn her at the stake, right? Take Carmelo, another black young boy, who stabbed a white bully because he feared for his life in self-defense. Burn him at the stake, give him life. But when it comes to Lindsay, y'all wearing pink and sending millions of dollars on GoFundMe. Y'all are really fucking psychotic, and y'all need to seek help. I'm not even going to say seek Jesus because y'all don't know him for real. Y'all are white supremacists.
Yep.
And y'all deserve to burn right in hell. Oh,
and it's just fascinating that these people are raising or like, what's the $1 million for? Why $1 million? Like, you know how much money that is? You know what y'all could be doing with that money? Y'all could be going to the shelters and helping those single mothers that's in the shelters. How about help those women that fought through postpartum and turned themselves into a mental institution? Y'all know it's mothers that's in there right now suffering and don't have the means and the finances to get the treatments that they need, but y'all gonna give this woman $1 million? This is how I know this is not about being a mother and mental health issues. This has everything to defend the demonic spirit inside of these people, the demonic behavior inside of these people, because there's mothers out here that y'all can protect right now that need y'all help. Why not do a fundraiser for them? Listen to Nancy Grace.
So let's be clear. She has pled not guilty by reason of insanity. She admits she did it. Nobody's claiming Patrick Clancy did this.
Yes, y'all is.
But something about this video, something about her reaction in court has engendered a lot of sympathy, a lot of empathy, and a lot of blaming Patrick Clancy. But from my analysis, the husband, whatever else you may want to say about him, and much has been said, he had nothing to do, as far as I can analyze the evidence. And believe you me, if I thought he was involved in any way, I would be screaming it on the mountaintops. But I don't.
You see how disappointed she sound? You see how disappointed Nancy Grace, this devil, sound? She sounds so disappointed that she can't blame the father. She sounds so disappointed that she got to keep the accountability on Lindsay. You got so many people trying to point the blame to the father. This is disgusting. And you got some mothers, some women out here talk about it was her, she's a Scorpio, she's a Gemini. These people are using star signs to come up with an excuse to defend this woman. Nancy Grace is disappointed that she can't point the blame to somebody else because she want to defend Lindsay so bad. She like, if it had anything to do with the father, best believe I'll be screaming to the top of my lungs, because that's what y'all like to do. Y'all like to run away from accountability, but there's no proof that he had anything to do with it. All proof, all evidence leads towards Lindsay. She admitted to it. So F her, let's just look over the fact that she admitted to it. But we still gonna point the blame towards the father.
tie it all together from a psychological perspective, I think one thing that's important for the public to understand is there's been a lot of evidence and talk about him not being the best husband, being a negligent husband, not helping her when she's in mental health crisis, not helping her in a time of need.
Excuses.
And I think there's
why she's still there. If he was all, I don't want to hear nothing about their marriage. This has nothing to do with their marriage. I don't care nothing about their relationship problems. This has nothing to do with them. This has everything to do with the babies. These are, you see the excuses that they pull out their ass. He was not a good husband. He was leaving them. He's done all that. Then why she still stay with him? I don't care nothing about that. If he was a shitty husband, go divorce his ass. Leave him. But you didn't. So I don't want to hear what type of husband he was. Everybody, and I'm showing you guys in 4K how these people get down. They don't want to hold Lindsay accountable. Let's blame the husband that is not even on trial, by the way. No evidence that he done anything. He wasn't even on the premises. But you know what? Let's talk about how a shitty of a husband that he is.
Confusion about somebody who maybe was not a great husband and was a terrible husband and didn't help his wife.
Oh yeah, Latoya said, I'm keep saying 8-month-year-old baby. You right. I mean 8-month baby. Y'all know what I mean. God damn. Players fuck up, Latoya. Damn.
Versus a murderer. And I think those lines are being blurred, and it feels much better psychologically to believe that, he did this compared to Lindsay, who was, a labor and delivery nurse. She's a beautiful young woman. She was a really good mom, and now she's in a wheelchair. So that whole package together helps to feed all of the conspiracy out there about Patrick.
So
this is crazy, bro. This is crazy. Now let's listen to the professional talk about this case, right? Let's listen to the expert. Dr. Mack, the most credible expert witness yet. He answered the main question. Lindsay was not insane when she committed the crime. She knew it was wrong.
You spoke.
Yes, sorry about that.
That's okay. So what's your opinion about her ability to substantially her substantial capacity to appreciate the wrongfulness or criminality of her conduct?
So I again would go to thinking about what had been her state of mind for at least the month prior, the several months prior, and in all that time, there wasn't any feature that indicated that she didn't have that capacity. But furthermore, when there were moments when she thought about harming the children, when she had the thoughts about that, she was aware in those moments beforehand that was wrong or against the law, and that she could be punished for such an action.
You're referring to the December conversation with her husband and her mom?
Yes, and her thoughts about the idea that if anyone knew what I was thinking, the children might be taken away from me.
And also, did the fact that she hadn't had any significant medication changes during that time period?
The children might be taken.
You're referring to the December conversation with her husband and her mom?
Yes, and her thoughts about the idea that if anyone knew what I was thinking, the children might be taken away from me.
She said, if anybody knew what I was thinking, I'm afraid that my children would get taken away from me. So she already had these thoughts, and she did nothing about it. She kept it to herself. She did not want help, because she stated that after the conversation she had with her family and her husband, she said, I did not want to tell no one about my thoughts because I was afraid that my children was going to get taken away from me. Does this sound like somebody that's not in the right state of mind?
And also, did the fact that she hadn't had any significant medication changes during that time period, does that also inform your opinion about that?
Well, as that aligns with what I was saying before about how, while depressed, her mental state was relatively stable. It was perhaps improving. I'm not sure about that, but it was stable.
Move to strike that. He's not sure about it.
All right. That answer is stricken. All right.
So the fact that she hadn't undergone any more significant medical or medication changes, I should say, did that signify to you that she had been in the same kind of state she had in the months before?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what about the interaction with Dr. Tufts on January 23rd? Did anything about that suggest that there were any concerns or distress that would have changed her ability to appreciate wrongfulness of her conduct?
No. In that interaction, she displayed normal thinking and the ability to think ahead and to navigate the world.
Normal thinking, right? She was normal thinking, had a level head, and she know how to navigate the world. This is the expert, right? The expert, Dr. Mack. That's the most credible witness in this trial. She was in her normal state. It's clearly that she was in her normal state because she planned all this out. She tried to keep it to herself. She did not want help. Her nurses, her doctors, her therapists, everybody reached out to her. Everybody was involved, doing her postpartum. Everybody.
And what about the statements that she referred to when she was killing the kids, the go to God? Does that inform your opinion?
It does.
And why?
My understanding is that the sentiment, go to God, is a way of bestowing or thinking about the children as innocents and as ones who hadn't done wrong, while what she was doing was the opposite, was wrong, or could be construed as wrong. And so go to God not only was a hope for the children, but also a description of the situation.
Okay, and what about the report from her that the voice was telling her, this is your last chance? Is that significant to identify whether she would have had some knowledge or known that it was something that was wrong?
Well, to the extent that it was seen as her last chance, yes, because there was an awareness that it was something that would be disallowed by their father.
And as far as after the incident, when she woke up at the Brigham and Women's Hospital, you're aware that she reported to the staff there that she was horrified, correct?
Yes.
And so the fact that she immediately afterwards identified that she was horrified, does that go to her capacity to appreciate the wrongfulness of her conduct?
Yes. One can consider that her mental state, once she was removed from the dexmedetomidine, was similar to what it had been on January 24th. And in that regard, the feeling of horror, the feeling of shame that comes from being horrified indicates that she was aware that it had been the wrong thing to do.
She was aware that it was the wrong thing to do. Yeah, cook her ass up, Doc.
And then finally, just to go back to the substantial capacity to conform conduct, you've told us a little bit about that, about the fact that her condition hadn't really changed all that much. You outlined what she did that day. But is there anything else to consider based on everything that you reviewed that would indicate to you that she did maintain the substantial capacity to conform her conduct to the requirements of the law?
I think that in the household, she was engaging this activity methodically, which highlights to me that there was an ability to conform her behavior to expectations of living in a household.
What do you mean methodically?
As I understand the deaths, they were done methodically, and I think you asked me about that earlier, one by one, in a way that was organized and that was intended to achieve a particular goal. Similarly, her attempt at suicide was organized and thoughtful in a sense that it included as many possible methods as possible.
And as far as the killings of the children methodically, did she report to you in any way that she was given direction by this voice on how to complete the act and what exactly to do?
No, she did not.
And what about the call with Patrick? Is there anything about that indicates that she maintained some control or the ability to control herself where she did engage in a short conversation with him?
Well, that aligns with what we were talking about before in terms of being aware that he would disapprove or disallow this, and yet she didn't say anything. She didn't say help, or she didn't say, I'm having these thoughts, so it wasn't stated.
And what about the call with Patrick? Is there anything about that indicates that she maintained some control or the ability to control herself where she did engage in a short conversation with him?
Well, that aligns with what we were talking about before in terms of being aware that he would disapprove or disallow this, and yet she didn't say anything. She didn't say help, or she didn't say, I'm having these thoughts, so it wasn't stated.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
So again, as far as your overall evaluation of this defendant, Lindsay Clancy, regarding the events of January 24th, 2023, what ultimately is your opinion to a degree of medical certainty regarding criminal responsibility?
My opinion is that she retained the capacity that required for having criminal responsibility for these actions.
Shout out to you, Doc. Doc said, yeah, she responsible. She's criminally responsible for what she did. She was in her right state of mind. Yeah, you can't run away from this accountability, Lindsay. You just can't unalive 3 children and just think that you can just play crazy and then throw yourself out of the window thinking that all of this is going to be behind you. It's a reason why God still had you here, ma'am. You about to get held accountable. If this woman walk, but I won't be surprised. I would not be surprised, family, if this woman walk clear. I won't be surprised at all. Right? I want to show you guys this diagram right here, right? It says prosecutor Lindsay did it. Defense attorney Lindsay did it. Lindsay, I did it. The internet, it was the husband. Diabolical family. And just listening to these dumb ass women.
That piss me the fuck off when it comes to this lady, Lindsay Clancy. Please don't. Because everybody can be biased all they motherfucking want to because it's 3 babies that's involved.
Bias? How you being biased because it's 3? Bias, ma'am? Really? What's the bias here? How am I biased because I'm advocating for the 3 lives that was lost, which is the babies? What is the bias in this?
Little Tylers that lost their life.
Look how she talk about it. Look how she talk about the babies. Look how this woman is talking about these babies.
Nobody slow, and y'all for damn sure ain't damn dumb. Y'all can see through this shit just as clear as goddamn day.
Okay, what?
Point blank, period. This lady did not do this shit on her motherfucking own.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
I don't know how this woman got through high school, or I don't even know how she making it through adulthood with this type of mindset and IQ level. This woman is very, very stupid and very, very dumb. She ain't do it by herself. And and you know where this is about to go, family. You know where this is about to go. These women want to point the blame off on the man so bad the evilness and bitterness that these women have inside of themselves, they refuse to hold Lindsay accountable after this woman has already admitted she done it. She's not on trial to figure out whether she done it or not. This is not what the trial is for. It's about her state of mind. But yet, it's no way that she could have done this by herself. No way. Shout out to From Downtown coming in with the $2 super chat. She might get off, but she won't walk. I agree with that, brother. I agree with that.
And I am willing to die on that hill. Regardless if these people decide to just prosecute her to the highest capacity. I'm knowing she did not do this shit on some evil shit. On some
Come on now,
shit,
dog.
Point blank the fuck.
Come on, man.
She did not do this on some hateful-ish, some evil-ish. Then what she do it in this, dummy? Did she do it on some lovable-ish? Some Karen-ish? Like, what you mean that she didn't do it on some hateful-ish? Like, what you talking about? Oh, my God. This woman's so goddamn stupid. Shout out to Mason coming in with the $5 super chat. And this is why the Passport Bros exist, whether you agree with them or not. But this is a fuel that will further divide us. Shout out to you for the $5 super chat, Mason. I appreciate you. But what's so crazy about this is she said that this woman did not do this on some evil-ish. Let me make sure I heard this correctly. This woman crazy.
I'm knowing she did not do this shit on some evil shit.
She did not do this on some evil-ish. Then what she do it on, ma'am? What was it? She strangled all 3 of her kids. What's not evil about that?
Heinous shit.
She strangled all 3 of her kids. How was it not on some heinous-ish?
Blank the fuck, period.
Wow.
I'm dead ass this passionate about this shit.
You passionate.
Because any mom that has gone through postpartum. Lord,
postpartum is not a get out of jail free. These people are just bringing up postpartum like that's an excuse for you to unalive your children. These women talking about I'm passionate about this case. You passionate about the thought of unaliving your kids? That's what I'm getting from this. Is that's what you passionate about? You passionate about this woman, Lindsay, this white woman, by the way, because like I'm telling these black women, if you go just like the case that I just showed y'all about the black woman that left her son in a hot car and he died. All of the white women and the white people was in the comment section saying that they need to lynch her. She need to get the death penalty. She did that on purpose, all of that. But this black woman sent up her defending this white woman, talking about that she did not do that on some evil-ish. Like, what is you talking about?
Jesus, I'm getting emotional. Any fucking mom that has gone through postpartum, I guarantee you, all type of thoughts done ran through your mind if you real about that shit.
And I dare you to act on them thoughts. I dare you to act on them thoughts, ma'am. Go ahead and act on them thoughts. Go ahead. You better keep your thoughts to yourself. Your thoughts don't matter. And I'm glad that you are saying this online. They need to take your kids away from you. So you having thoughts of, why are you having kids then if you're thinking about unaliving them? Now, once have I heard any of these women that's defending Lindsay, nobody's talking about going to get help, family. Nobody's talking about being passionate about getting help. They want to defend the thought of doing some type of harm to these children. This is sick.
Then on top of that, when you're dealing with a man who really don't even fucking want you.
Here we go. You know you can't say this to the judge, ma'am. Whatever issues you got going on with your baby daddy or your husband, you know that the judge don't want to hear this. You know that you can't present this toxic relationship into the court of law. So I advise you to keep those thoughts in your head, because if you think that you are going to get the support like Lindsay got, You are sadly mistaken, ma'am. Sadly mistaken. Very low IQ individual here. This woman need to be in jail.
Ready to fucking replace you, doing whatever the fuck he can to play on your mindset.
Okay, how about you leave the man then, ma'am? What they have so if the man is playing with you, he's showing you he don't want to be with you or replace you, that means I need to unalive my kids? So that means I need to. So what about the babies? Do anybody care about the goddamn babies? This is what's pissing me off about these women. No compassionate, no sympathy for the women, all excuses for the reason why they think about harming their babies. Harming their babies. And black women, you got to be very careful by getting on the internet talking like this. Nobody's coming to your defense. I know I'm not. If you go out here and unalive your kids, you think I'm finna come defend you? Absolutely not. And you can play crazy like Lindsay is doing. You can play crazy and use postpartum as an excuse. Use that your boyfriend is toxic, that your husband is toxic. Go ahead and knock yourself out. And let's just see how social media spin this. Let's see how the media spin this. Shout out to Ebony coming in with the $5 super chat. Many women love Madea. Look up to Madea and the casual killing act. Act men don't get mental health excuses. Exactly, Ebony. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I appreciate you. Exactly. She didn't do this for love. But y'all so low IQ that if you dealing with a toxic relationship with your man, what they have to do with unaliving your children? But go ahead and try it. Shit happens. Oh my God. This woman said, ish happens. You just beat me to the punch. Kamisha, you just beat me to the punch. If this woman got kids, y'all need to watch her. If this woman got kids, y'all need to keep a close eye on this woman. Because she's telling you without telling you. Ish happens. Yeah, 3 kids lost their life. Ish happens. So be it. So what? It's all about me.
The DNA don't motherfucking lie. They ain't even found her fingerprints on shit that was used to harm them kids.
Look at her, bro.
Don't piss me off.
Man.
This is some fucked up shit.
Don't piss her off because she thinks about harming children. Don't piss her off.
She ain't nothing like Casey Anthony. And I can name a few other women that she ain't nothing like. And you can visibly tell it. You can visibly see it. I rest my damn case.
Man, this woman, lock this woman up. Lock this woman up now. Disgusting, evil behavior. You see how she just dismissed the life of those children, saying that ish happens. And I want to make sure we highlight these individuals.
You are never going to make me hate Lindsay Clancy.
You are never going to make me hate Lindsay Clancy. Okay. A woman who unalived all 3 of her babies and strangled them.
You're just not. I know better than anyone that the government would rather prosecute mothers than ensure they're adequately supported.
Is there anybody else who thinks that it's absolutely repulsive that the Commonwealth of Boston put a woman prosecutor onto the Lindsay Clancy case? I am repulsed by that. Like, absolutely repulsed. And I know she's just doing her job. But I think it's disgusting that it was very purposeful that they.
And family, please listen to me, family. Listen to me. Listen to how many women, how many mothers that I played in this live stream. Nobody said rest in peace to these babies. Nobody's showing compassion to these babies. It's all about shifting the blame off to the man that wasn't there, making up scenarios that wasn't true, but nobody have sympathy and empathy for the baby. 3 babies are gone. 8 month, 3 and 5. But they want to explain the reason why they can never hate Lindsay. They are going to explain to you the reason why they're going to defend her, but they're not going to stand up on the behalf of these 3 babies that lost their lives. What about the babies? Can y'all do a rally for the babies? Can y'all do a fundraiser for the babies? Can y'all do a scholarship fund for the babies? Can y'all do some type of memorial for the babies? What are the babies' names? Like, this is crazy. None of these mothers are saying nothing about these babies. None of these women.
A lead woman prosecutor prosecuting Lindsay Clancy.
Unpopular opinion, Lindsay Clancy did not her kids.
She did not do it after she admitted it. She admitted it. The prosecution admitted it. The defense team admitted it. Everybody admitted it. But this woman gonna say that she did not do it. Man, goddamn. Wow.
The husband did.
The
one
husband
leaving, going off onto an affair. The one that remarried right away. The one who literally had no emotion, talking about finding his children unalive.
Wow.
The one who literally painted the whole entire picture for her and for everyone else. And by the way, he also drove her to the point of insanity.
He drove her to the point.
And said, "You're insane," like every other narcissist man has ever done.
See, all of this is about getting off their messengers talking points. See, it's all about just blaming men. See, these women right here, that's all they want to do. They just want to get off their messengers' views, how they feel about men, and that's literally blinding them to the fact that 3 children lost their damn life, and it was by the hands of that damn white devil. Y'all sitting up here talking about it's the man, he drove her insane. It's the husband, he set it up. While this woman admitted family, what more can you ask for in a murder trial? If the defense say that I did it, she's not saying that the husband did it. After she strangled her 3 kids, she threw herself out of the window. Admitted to doing it. Admitted to having thoughts about doing this and keeping it to herself. Admitted to sending her husband off so that she can strangle those babies. These people should be arrested and locked up if they have children. No, rest in peace. And again, nobody have sympathy and empathy for the baby. Shout out to Divine One coming in with the $5 super chat. In this world today, right is wrong and wrong is right. Man, that's so true. Man, you ain't never lied, Divine One. You ain't never lied. Whew. Shout out to you for that.
He has the playbook.
He has the
He
playbook.
looks like Chris Watts. He acts like Chris Watts. What did Chris Watts do? Try to blame his wife.
He looked like somebody, so that means he done it.
Found out what really happened there. Come on now.
I'm sorry to inform y'all low IQ people out there. Lindsay unalived her children. I know it's hard for y'all to get a grasp of that because in y'all sick minds, y'all have these same thoughts. She done it. This is what their people do. They do this all the time. Look at this woman. This woman said, I am Lindsay Casey, whatever her last name is, Lindsay. What this tells me is when I see the title of this, I am Lindsay, right? This says that I am a baby unaliver. I want to unalive my baby. I have thought about unaliving my baby. Y'all really think that this is fun and games to come out here and say that you are the person that strangled 3 babies? Y'all think that this is a good idea to come out here and say this? Because if y'all was really going through this, why not go get some help? Why y'all coming to the internet and telling us that y'all having thoughts about unaliving y'all children?
Go with this Lindsay Clancy stuff.
Clancy.
But I just heard some testimony from the lawyer about things that she wrote in a diary.
Somebody in the comment section said, imagine if I posted I am Chris Watts. People are insane. Y'all know who Chris Watts is, right? He was that guy that unalived his whole entire family and act like he didn't do it. Unalived his wife and all his children and tried to play crazy, but it failed. Yeah, you can't play crazy. Yeah, he was a white man, by the way.
And it's so terrifying because those are all things that I've said or thought or written at some time. And
she said it's all the things that I thought in my life. She thought about harming her babies. She thought about this.
I want to scream from the rooftops. If you know somebody who has a kid who is younger than 5 years old,
why have children?
On them.
Why have kids then?
On them. Some of us are getting help. Some of us have been diagnosed. Some of us are in therapy.
Get these kids away from these women.
Some of us have a team.
Get these kids away from these women now. These kids are in danger. These kids are in danger. Lock these women up. Put these women under investigation.
Some of us don't. Some of us don't.
Every time they suffer with depression, they never can do nothing productive. It's other options out here, lady. You don't have to harm anybody. You don't have to unalive your kids. How about go to the gym and lose some weight? How about start a business? Right? How about go to Pilates? How about taking cooking classes? Why y'all can't never do nothing productive when y'all have postpartum? Why is always let me unalive some innocent young children? Why is always that? I never hear y'all talk about doing something productive when you depressed. I know when I felt depressed, I got myself up out of it, start doing things productive, things that's positive. Why the only solution is, let me look over to my precious innocent babies that's innocent and let me think about unaliving them. That's the only option. Oh my God.
And if you don't and you're seeing this, how are you? How are you doing? If it's not well, tell somebody. Tell me. I don't know.
No, tell you
tell
shit.
Me.
Don't tell her nothing.
I just want you to be able to put it in a place.
Shout out to Dorwell coming in with a $1 super chat. Didn't say nothing, just showing your boy some love. Appreciate that. Shout out to you for that. I appreciate you.
So that it doesn't translate into something that you can't take back.
I really hope that Lindsay get the death penalty. I really hope that Lindsay get the death penalty, right? Which she deserved, by the way. She deserved the death penalty. She deserved it. Every bit of it.
I think it should be mandatory that before men actually take babies home, they actually have to go through a class or watch like a movie about what the signs are for postpartum psychosis. And
here we go, blaming men again. Here we go, blaming men, refusing to hold Lindsay accountable. These women trying to come up with scenarios about men need to sit down and get educated about postpartum. How about you don't unalive your children, ma'am? How about that? All you gotta do is keep your hands off your kids. Allow your kids to live. Allow your kids to have a shot at life.
This postpartum period. This Lindsay Clancy situation case actually got me going. And I'm not gonna say too much on it because I know a lot of people have their opinions. And my situation wasn't the same situation, but the lack of support in having a newborn, whoa. And the amount of men that are in the comments saying different things. Listen, I believe she should be locked up in a psych ward for the rest of her life if this is the case.
The psych ward? You believe she should be locked up in a psych ward, ma'am? No, she should be in prison like the rest of the criminals.
There's different theories that are talking about the Chris Watts situation and you know how he blamed his wife. I don't know. I just really think that it should be mandatory because this is sad, and the amount of women that in our comment section basically telling their story and how alone they felt.
I don't care how alone you feel. I don't care I don't care nothing about none of that. You don't matter. Those babies need their life. You go fix yourself. You fight yourself out of that depression. You go get help. If nobody's willing to help you, you separate yourself from your family. If those voices in your head is taking over you, you leave those children alone. Let me repeat this again. Leave those babies alone. They deserve to live. Whatever you dealing with, you need to go find out how you can fix that. There's other options other than unaliving your baby. What is wrong with y'all?
Good afternoon. It's been brought to my attention that because I've been talking about the Lindsay Clancy trial, people think that I support women unaliving their children. What the fuck are we talking about, friends? The reason why I'm even talking about this, because I said in a previous video, when this shit hit the news in 2023 or whatever, I thought she did it. I thought she did it.
She did do it. She did do it. What are you talking about, stupid? She did do it. She admitted to doing it. She's not on trial to argue her innocence. Are y'all not understanding what's going on in this case? She admitted to doing it. You idiots.
Supported that she did this. However,
shout out to From Downtown coming in with the $5 super chat. Family, there's a 21-year-old YT girl in my city who went to school with my two daughters who did this same thing. Out now on bond. Dakota Taylor warns GA. That's crazy. Out on bond? She got a bond? They gave her a bond. Of course they got her a bond. I'm not surprised. Shout out to you From Downtown.
after listening to the witnesses that the prosecution brought up, I am confusion. Because the first thing that got me, like,
look at the excuse.
My antenna's going up.
Yeah, her antenna's going up because she's trying to find her way to skate out of accountability. What these women trying to do on the internet, and I want to make sure we highlight these devils. What these ignorant women like her on the internet is trying to do is moonwalk their way out of accountability and holding Lindsay accountable for what she did to those babies. Listen to this fool.
The exercise bands. How the hell are the kids' DNA on the bands, Patrick's DNA on the bands, but hers is the only one that's not on the bands?
Maybe because she cleaned them off. Have you ever thought about that? Maybe she wiped the bands off before she threw herself out of the window. Why did she throw herself out of the window, ma'am? Why did she throw herself out of the window trying to end her life? Huh? If she didn't do it, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you ignorant, dumb people out here believing that she didn't do it, why did she throw herself out of the window if she didn't do it? Why she admit to doing it? She could just blame her husband. She sent her husband away from the house. These people know that the husband was not at the house. They know this. But in their mind, they would not accept the accountability and the truth in this case. Damn those kids that lost their life. I'm here advocating for the kids. My live stream today is for the advocacy of the babies. Because nobody's talking about the babies. Everybody's trying to argue about Lindsay. I don't give a damn about her. I hope she rot in prison. She need to get the death penalty. But nobody's talking about the babies.
Huh? Then, the more evidence I'm hearing, again, from the prosecution.
You ain't hearing no evidence.
What the hell do you mean? Patrick on the stand said, yeah, I sent this email from my Surface Pro at 5:24. Then more evidence comes out and they said, yeah, Lindsay Clancy's heart rate from about 5 to 5:23 was up in the hundreds. And at 5:23 it was 56 beats per minute. What the fuck are we talking about, friends? So that means a minute before Patrick sent that email, she was damn near asleep. Why did she take the resistance bands off? The more I look at the crime scene photos, this shit not making a motherfucking lick of sense. Because once...
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on,
The mental gymnastic these people got to try to jump through to try to not hold their white woman accountable. And this is what I'm saying, black women. If you want to down this hill by defending this white woman, I want you to try it. Go ahead and think. Go ahead and listen to those voices when you're dealing with postpartum. Hurt those kids and see what happened.
I seen the blood on the shingles of the house. That is consistent with somebody hanging out the fucking window. Hanging out the window. That's not consistent with somebody jumping out the window. If she jumped out the window and she had already slit her wrist, her hands would have been fucking bloody. Her hands would have been bloody, friends. There would have been blood every fucking where.
Yeah, you
It would have been
stupid.
blood on the windowsill, the window, her pushing it up, on the curtains. Why is the bed moved when the table that was right next to the bed is not obstructing the window and the bed is cocked where it now is obstructing the window? If she just wanted to jump out, why the fuck didn't she just jump out?
Yeah, you stupid.
What the hell are we talking about? This shit does not make any motherfucking sense. On top of the fact, this is the same area. This is
Yeah, you stupid. You stupid. You dumb. You dumb. I can't listen to stupidity no more.
If there's anything that the Lindsay Clancy trial has taught me, it is how gullible the average person is. I'm going to get really mean for a second, and I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. The people on this app, and just in general, really believe that they are more intelligent than the experts who study these things, than the investigators who have had their hands on this case for over 3 years, than Lindsay's defense team, than anyone. They really believe. I think everybody watched Don't Fuck with Cats, and
Judge Sullivan also presided over the trial against LaTarsha Sanders, and there's a very interesting update that came out recently. Back in February 2018, LaTarsha Sanders took the line.
This LaTarsha Sanders, right? I want you guys to pay attention to what's going on. The difference between, and it's the same judge, right? The same judge that's over Lindsay case.
Of her two young sons, 8-year-old Marlon and 5-year-old LaSun. At her February 2018, LaTarsha Sanders took the lives of her two young sons, 8-year-old Marlon and 5-year-old LaSun. At her trial, there was not a question about who had done this. Instead, the question was around her criminal responsibility.
So it was no question around who done this, around this black woman that unalived her two children, right? And this is for the black woman that's defending Lindsay, right? That's talking about all y'all had those thoughts. I want you to try. And this case is a prime example of what you would deal with and the public backlash, right? While you trying to down this hill defending this white woman, this is what's going to happen to you. Ain't nobody going to point the blame at your baby daddy. Yeah, they ain't going to be looking at your husband or whatever like y'all trying to do, with her husband. No, they're going to be looking at you.
There was no documented mental health history for LaTarsha prior to February 2018, but there was some evidence of her behavior changing recently. She had become consumed with conspiracy theories about the Illuminati. She thought that people were trying to poison her children, and she made statements that she felt she was being instructed by bad people. Her defense attorney testified that she was grossly psychotic.
She feel like she was being instructed by bad people. The same thing that Lindsay is doing. Lindsay is saying that she was commanded by voices in her head to strangle her babies. But do you guys see the difference in this case? Nobody's blaming the baby daddy. Nobody is blaming the husband.
She lacked the capacity to understand the criminality of her actions or conform her behavior to the law. While Sanders was waiting on her trial, she spent years being evaluated and treated in prison and a state psychiatric hospital. There were thousands of pages of records documenting paranoia, delusions, hallucinations, and multiple psychiatric diagnoses. Those records included clinicians questioning schizophrenia spectrum disorders, a diagnosis of schizophrenia spectrum and other psychotic disorders, an assessment that her presentation was consistent with paranoid schizophrenia that had gone undetected and untreated for decades, and eventually she received a diagnosis of schizoaffective disorder.
Okay, so she got diagnosed. Okay, cool.
Defense defense attorney tried to introduce these records during her 2022 trial, but this is where Judge Sullivan comes in. He did not allow them into evidence unless the prosecution first opened the door during cross-examination, which never happened. So those records were not admitted in trial, and they were never handed over to the jury. Sanders was convicted by that jury, and she was sentenced to 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole, but then we found it over to the jury. Sanders was convicted by that jury, and she was sentenced to 2 life sentences without the possibility of parole.
She was sentenced to 2 life sentences, right? Without the possibility of parole. Hey, black women that's out here defending Lindsay, that's talking about that y'all have these thoughts and y'all support her and y'all understand and y'all pointing the finger at the husband. Hey, that's not going to work for you. Yeah, they're going to throw the book at you. See, she got diagnosed with schizophrenia. The judge didn't allow it as evidence. So now she's rotting in prison. Rightfully so, by the way. Like, I make no excuses for nobody. I don't care what race you is. You unalive babies, you deserve to go to jail. But this is the difference of the 2-tier justice system. She was actually diagnosed as schizophrenia. And she actually had a mental health issue. And Lindsay's arguments is postpartum. Very common after women have children. A lot of mothers deal with that. But look what they did to this woman. Look what they did to this woman. Gave her 2 life sentences.
But then we fast forward to August 6, 2026. The Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court threw out those convictions unanimously and ordered a new trial. The court specifically found that Judge Sullivan's decision to exclude these psychiatric records was wrong and prejudiced Sanders' defense.
It was prejudice, right? Why would you throw out the records if she was diagnosed with this mental illness? This is diabolical, right? And I'm not defending this woman in any capacity, by the way. She deserved to be in jail for what she did to those babies. But if she was diagnosed, why did this judge throw it away? And this goes to show you, see, they're not going to throw Lindsay diagnoses away. They're not. But when it comes to a black woman, oh, yeah, no. She can't run with this. He ain't even give her the opportunity to play crazy. But Lindsay going to play crazy? So Lindsay get a chance to play crazy, and everybody going to defend her. Everybody going to defend her playing crazy. But she can't play crazy.
The justices said excluding them impermissibly stripped her sole defense of the medical foundation supporting it. And that wasn't the only issue that they addressed. During the prosecutor's closing arguments, they suggested that because Law and Order SVU happened to be playing on the television when police were at Sanders' home, that maybe she had gotten ideas from episodes involving children and voodoo rituals.
Oh my God, bro. Oh, hell, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, boy.
So she got the idea. So the defense. So they saying that she got the idea to unalive her children by Law and Order episodes. Really? Law and Order. That's the best y'all can come up with? Saying that y'all walked in her house and Law and Order is playing, and that's why she unalived her children. How y'all even allowed to present that into court?
The Supreme Judicial Court said that argument was improper. There was no evidence that Sanders had watched those episodes, no evidence she had copied any storyline, and no evidence connecting what happened to the television show that happened to be playing later. The DA's office has said that they are reviewing this ruling and deciding their next steps. So far, a new trial date has not been set. I believe in every defendant getting a fair trial, regardless of the crime, so I can't disagree with this decision.
Yeah, me too.
However, I don't personally feel that this case and this ruling can be used to make any comparisons to the Lindsay Clancy trial. It is the same judge, but we have heard so much evidence, we have seen so many documents, and it doesn't appear that Judge Sullivan has not allowed anything in that would compare to what happened in this case. But that is just my outlook on it. Let me know yours. Again, I believe every defendant deserves a fair trial, so I'll keep you updated on what happens with LaTarsha's case, but most importantly, Rest in peace to 8-year-old Edson Marlon
These are her babies. Rest in peace to her babies.
Brito and 5-year-old LaSawn Brito.
Rest in peace to these babies right here, man. Ain't nobody talking about the babies. And, she deserved a, new trial, right? I'm not against that, but I still think that LaTarsha Sanders need to rot in prison for the rest of her life, right? She need to get the death penalty for what she did to her sons. I'm not advocating for her, but I'm just showing you the difference. The judge threw away the evidence of her mental illness, right? And she was granted a new trial because of what that judge did. This is the same judge that's ruling over the Lindsay case. And I don't have no compassionate, and I would never defend no baby unaliver. I don't give a damn what color you is or what color that baby is. Babies deserve to live, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to the family. And I want you guys, all the white women that's out here defending this baby unaliver, these are the same people that defended this guy right here.
Jesse Butler is officially free. He is no longer under court supervision after he pled guilty to horrific crimes against 2 young girls. Horrific crimes. The details so disturbing that I can't share with you in a video here today. And doctors say that he was 30 seconds away from murdering one of those girls. He choked one of those girls so hard that they had to have surgery on their neck because their artery was leaking. And those doctors were ready to testify in a hearing, in a trial, to testify that this man did terrible, terrible things to these girls. This boy did terrible, terrible things to these young women, and he almost murdered one of them. But the district attorney at the time decided that he deserved a plea deal because he was considered a youthful offender at the...
And this is the judge, right? That white boy raped 2 white young girls, almost beating them to death, literally beating them to death, putting them in a wheelchair, and white people, YT people, was defending him. And a lot of mainstream media didn't even cover this Jesse Butler case, right? He didn't get no jail time. He got community service and probation, and now he's free now. And look at the judge that granted this sentence. This is how you know they don't even care about their own children. They don't even care about their own women. I don't hear the white supremacists talking about Jesse Butler running away scot-free after abusing and raping 2 white girls. Nobody's talking about that. But y'all black people want to get out here and put y'all faces on social media and protect this monster, Lindsay. Okay.
The age of 17. Jesse Butler got away with no time in jail. And
No.
now, a year later, now that he has turned 19, it's completely wiped off his record.
Oh my God.
Let me remind you, let me show you how privileged this boy is. Watch his mama. Watch his mama pout at just how awful this is that he has to be arrested.
We're ready to obviously tell our story too.
Yeah.
Jess, it's Mom. Open the door. It's me.
These the white women y'all protecting, by the way. All the black women out here that's defending Leslie, these the type of white women that defend these type of monsters.
Wallet and phone and stuff. So, okay.
This man right here raped 2 white young girls, beat them so bad to the point where they had to be in a wheelchair, and these white mothers out here defend this mess. And these white women are out here protesting, right, supporting Leslie after she strangled all 3 of her kids. And they said they support her. Nobody have support for those 2 white girls that was victims of this devil right here. Nobody is advocating for those 3 babies that's victims of Leslie behavior. Nobody is showing empathy and sympathy for the babies but us. Nobody's being a voice for the babies. Nobody's been a voice for the victims. But let's support Lindsay. But this is what this community support. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have not even heard about this.
You're what? They're in the car. Well, okay, it's fine. It's not locked or anything, is it? Okay. So, can you tell him what you just told me, or?
Yeah, I agree with you, Latasha. Right? She deserved to be where she at, but the sentence was harsh, especially after her diagnosis. Exactly. So hopefully in her retrial, you know, she probably get one life sentence or something.
Yeah, so we're here. We're obviously going to place you under arrest. There's a warrant for your arrest. We're going to take you to the jail. I told your mom that she can contact a bondsman, and you shouldn't be very...
Look at the mother. You think that I would be patting my son? Matter of fact, if I found out my son doing this, I'm taking you down there myself after I get done putting hands and feet on you. Look how this white woman is coddling this devil right here. This guy raped 2 young girls in the house that they stay in, raped them, beat them to death to the point where they had to be in the wheelchair. And look how this woman is coddling her son. But they always want to talk about black women and black women children. But these are the monsters that they are raising.
They're very long, but there just is a process for paperwork and stuff. But right now you do have to come with us, and I do have to put you in handcuffs. So turn around for me. You have to put them in handcuffs?
You have to put them in handcuffs? That's what the mother said. They have to put them in handcuffs. This man raped 2 girls in your home while you was there. Beat them almost to death. But you saying that, do they got to put him in handcuffs? Y'all look up this case, Divine One. This is the Jesse Butler case. If y'all want me to do a live stream on it, I will. This is a demonic, evil, devilish individual right here. If y'all want me to do a whole live stream on him, I will. I remember this case.
You
know we're going to lay this. It's okay.
Yeah.
Exactly, money. The police being so polite.
I'll get you out.
All of it.
All right. Stay silent. Rick knows about this. Candy's on this. Dad's
How
on his
can
way.
you
We'll come
defend
and
your
get you,
child?
Okay? Stay strong, okay? Say your prayers.
Okay. You think I'm going to defend my son after finding out he raped 2 girls and beat them to death? You think I'm going to be beside him telling him, say your prayers? Do you got to put handcuffs on him? Y'all gonna be putting handcuffs on me. That's who gonna be receiving handcuffs, me. But look at what this white woman doing. These are the same white women that's out there protesting for Lindsay.
So he's going to go right to the city of Stillwater jail, and if you'll just contact her, then she does this all the time. She knows what to do.
Yeah.
Make sure
Okay.
she knows Stillwater Police Department, not a county.
Stillwater Police
Yeah, the mother was there. The mother was in the home. While those girls were screaming, she was in the home. Okay, Pete God, do a live stream on it. Say no more. I got you.
On Lewis. Yeah.
Let them know that we're the ones that picked him up.
Okay, I got y'all. I'm going to do a whole live stream breakdown on this case. This is a sick boy. This dude right here.
We are
Stillwater PD.
Stillwater PD.
Yeah.
Okay.
That way they don't think he went like straight over and go with the county.
Awful experience.
And it's so crazy that y'all never heard of this case. See, they don't blast cases like this, family. They don't talk about cases like this. I didn't see Megyn Kelly, Brandon Tatum, Fox News. None of them go over this case. And this happened last year.
Pass it down and spread your feet for me. Nothing in your sock.
So yesterday they had a court hearing to wrap things up since the charges are going to be officially dropped after this erroneous plea deal.
Wow.
And the defense attorney allegedly painted Jesse Butler as the victim in this case. Well, That upset the new district attorney. Now, let me be clear. They can't redo this case. They can't do it again. That's double jeopardy at the state level.
Yep.
But the feds can. And the feds can take a look at the case.
Get 'em.
The feds can bring their own charges. And the feds can seek justice.
They can. They need
Because
to.
of yesterday's court hearing, the district attorney now is upset. And he is going to the feds. Let's hope now justice can finally be served.
The mother beside him
Jesse
said,
Butler,
say your prayers after what he did to those girls. Look at the picture of one of these young girls, family. Would you support this, family? If you find out your son done this, my son would be end up like this. If I known that my son done this to somebody, he would be like that. Y'all will be doing a live stream about me. Yeah, gentleman did beat the hell out of his son, and he's been charged with battery and all of that. This young girl, and the reason why so many of y'all did not hear about this case, because it wasn't blasted on social media. But you know what's blasted on social media? Fake text messages about Carmelo Anthony. Yeah, you're going to know about Carmelo Anthony. You're going to hear Megyn Kelly. You're going to hear Jason Whitlock, all the Sambos, Fox News, CBS. Everybody gonna talk about when it got something to do with a black person doing something. But look at their community. Look what these young white males doing in their community. They never going to address this. But let's talk about Chicago. Let's talk about hip hop culture. Let's point the blame to black people. See, we the reason why Jesse Butler did this to women in his own community. See, we're not y'all problem. The white men in y'all community is y'all problem, not us. This is what he did to this young girl right here, family. This is what he did. This is a victim of him. This guy that got support, his mother, I don't know who this is, supporting this dude. But you didn't see his face blasted all over the internet. You didn't see his face all over Fox News, Megyn Kelly, all the Sambos. Nobody talked about him. So I think I need to bring him back to light. So when this was 2 weeks ago, he completed his community service. That's all he got, family, was community. After beating 2 young white girls, putting them in a wheelchair, all he got was community service. But the feds picked up on the case, and they're going to do an investigation and try to bring some charges on this young devil. Rightfully so. He needs to spend the rest of his life in prison, right along with his mother and whoever live in that house, because he done it in that house under her roof. And these the same white mothers that always want to talk about black kids, but they never want to talk about those white men, those white devils that leave their homes and go shoot up schools. They go out here and grape women. They never want to talk about that. They never want to talk about that, family. But they always got something to say about black people. Shout out to the family. Shout out to the team. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this afternoon. I will have another show on this evening. You guys know how we do. It's time for us to get to work. But I wanted to make sure I highlight Lindsay so I can show you the 2 different justice